So a bit of a warning before I start, this might be a bit of a frame drop fest because this is one of the few times I've ever streamed with OBS Studio, but it should go fine nonetheless. Alright, so timing will start in a little bit. It will be when the screen flashes from black. Alright, in case you didn't know what game it is indeed Estranged Act 1. Alright, so timing will start now. Alright, so this is Estranged Act 1. This is a mod of Half-Life 2. And since it is a mod of Half-Life 2, a lot of the mechanics from Half-Life 2 carry over to this game. So you will see ABHing and ASHing as the main form of zombie apocalypse sort of going on within it. And the main cause behind this zombie apocalypse is this company by the name of ARC Corporation doing some experimentation. And we're going to meet up with this man in a second whose name is Jonathan Darrell, and he's going to give us this task of finding out what exactly ARC Corporation is and what they're doing. Going to meet up with him here in a second. And a typical Half-Life 2 style cutscene where we have to wait around for NPCs to do things, and while we're doing that, I'm going to put this guitar in this chair. And since the mechanics from Half-Life 2 carry over to this game, I'm going to try to do a teleport with Jonathan Darrell here.
I'm sorry you had to crash.
And we got it. Cool. I don't think that teleport there really saves any time because you have to wait for his dialogue to finish, but it still looks cool.
That's when this happened. I was attacked after I managed to get a message out. A company called ARC are blocking all communications with a damn curfew message.
Alright, and we get our first weapon of the run.
Look, take my gun.
We're gonna fire a shot to celebrate, as this is shots fired.
Go out of the back door. It'll take you to a river. Follow the river to the nature reserve, and then you can follow the rails into Wentworth. I'm sure that's where it's coming from. Look, before you go, I came here with my...
We're gonna do some ASHs to get to the next map. Usually I ABH along the shore here of the river. I like to go in the river as well because it accelerates your movement speed a little bit. And that's the first map down. Alright, so this section has a skip in it where you can, or a trick in it where you can skip the entire map. But I'm not very consistent at it at all, so I'm not going to do it. But even without the skip, this map is pretty quick. But the trade-off is we have to do 2 fairly inconsistent item climbs. This one, however, isn't that bad. It's actually really easy. We're going to use it to get to these switches a bit quicker. Just like that. Well, that's not what I want to pick up. There we go. Alright, so the first of 2 inconsistent item climbs is coming up. We're going to take this barrel and item climb over this fence. That's what I mean by it being inconsistent, but we got it that time. So before I do this next time, I'm going to kill this enemy just so it doesn't come after me. That's the second shot about the run. And this one is really inconsistent, and this zombie can hit you while you're trying to do it. In that case, I managed to... What is this zombie doing? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Oh, crap. Please, no! Ugh! Okay, we did it. First try, boys. That's what I mean by the item climbs in this section being really inconsistent. But we got past it. Alright, so I'm going to try to keep my ASH through this loading screen, because if I keep ASHing and keep the speed from it, we can go under there to avoid having to crawl under that beam. And here we're going to come across our first zombies of the game, which I believe are actually called runners, if I remember correctly. I'll shoot that explosive barrel just to get rid of this runner. Maybe through the rest of the tunnel here. And then we're in there. My health is okay, but I'm going to grab a few health kits along the way, just so I can take damage from enemies. Oh, get out of my way, cinder block. There we go. Shoot that explosive barrel to get rid of that wood. I'm gonna have to wait here for this thing to collapse. You take damage from that too, but it's not too big of a deal. You can't ABH along this ledge, but the pipe there tends to block you. And there's a gate we need to get past, and we need a box to lock one of the gates from closing. And bringing this box through these doorways are pretty tough, actually, because the doorways are really narrow. There is an item climb you can do here, next to those pipes, to skip this little bit that I'm about to do. But it's again one of those tricks that I'm not really consistent at, so I'm gonna not do it. I'm gonna wait here because the toxic sludge can still damage you. In fact, it just did there a couple of times. And obviously, since this is a marathon, I want to try to take the least amount of damage that I possibly can. And right here, you're supposed to go further on into this section over there and walk over and have the catwalk collapse, but you can just jump off the side there and trigger this cutscene either way.
I'm talking to you. Yes, you.
And now I have this cutscene with this very oddly polite interrogator.
We wouldn't want you to get hurt again, now would we? So the question on my mind is, why is a fisherman all the way down here?
I don't know either.
Oh, and
I'll be honest.
don't worry. I took away your hardware. Far be it from me to question where you got it. You're quite the adventurer, aren't you? We've been tracking your movements ever since you entered the facility. Too bad you wasted your time. Speaking of time, my shift ended half an hour ago, so make yourself comfortable. You'll be dead by tomorrow anyway.
Alright, so like the great Houdini himself, we're going to try to wiggle ourselves out of this chair. And I actually got that fairly quickly, which is nice. I'm going to grab that health because I'm a bit low. And you can ABH along this ledge, but the ledge here is really narrow and you can accidentally fall into the toxic sludge. And you can also get hit by that runner, since there's a runner in this section. ABH into the next area. So the interrogator from earlier took our gun, so we have to get the next best thing and get a hammer. Get this barrel here for another item climb. Yeah, that's the thing. The milk cartons the health kits for some reason are shaped like milk cartons. It's a really odd design choice, but no, let's just go with it. This item climb is kind of hard because you have to initiate the item climb while in water, and that's not the easiest thing to do. There we go. Alright, so if you saw the Half-Life 2 run and you saw the prop clips that Death did, there is a prop clip you can do on the door of this elevator, but it wastes time RTA and saves a lot of time without loads, since like Half-Life 2, this game is timed without loads, but doing this clip, of course, wastes time RTA, so we're not going to do it. But usually in runs, I of course do the void clip because of how this game is timed, or not void clip, but prop clip, because of how this game is timed. So I usually never see that elevator sequence. Cut that electric wire to get rid of that electric trap right there in the water. For some reason today when I practiced, I had a lot of trouble getting in that vent, so we got it. And you're intended to put a barrel on top of this barrel to go over the wall, but we can just item climb off it to get over. I don't remember that runner being there. That's odd. And this runner we can just ignore. Runners in this game don't really catch up to you that easily. They're not too much of a worry at all. Please? There we go. Need this key to open a door. Standard stuff. So this runner that's coming up will make a very explosive entrance, and that explosion that he causes can cause a little bit of damage. In that case he didn't, and we're just going to ignore him and run past him. He did damage me there, but we're fine. Like I said, runners can't really catch up to you that easily in this game. Do I call any of the runners by other speedrunners' names? No, that's just what they're called in-game. At least, if my memory serves me correctly. I'll be going on this rock cliff here to get to the facility. You can ASH on these rock cliffs, but you risk falling into the water, which I almost did there actually. And falling into the water spells your death, which obviously wouldn't be a good thing. Which runner is Goknak? Probably the runner that I just killed earlier. Alright, so we're in yet another cutscene here with Dr. Kleiner. If we can open this door. Just have to shake your card violently. Alright, so right about
Good.
Alright, so right about now we can relinquish our hammer and get yet another gun
Oh, the rain.
to fire even more
You'll need
shots.
something more powerful than that hammer of yours. You could Oh, bake sale in July? You finished? Great. Let's move on. It's funny, isn't it? They could have easily used a card reader here, but no. You've got the weapon.
Alright. So this map is essentially a big cutscene. There is some movement in between, but it's pretty much a huge cutscene. You have to wait for this pipe to collapse, otherwise the pipe will fall on you and kill you, which we obviously don't want. Did get hurt there by the electric current in the water, but we're fine. So I'm going to try to teleport Kleiner here with this trash bin. It's not the most optimal prop to try to teleport Kleiner with, but it works. Wow, really shoved the bin away. What a guy. Ugh, maybe I won't get it. Maybe. Oh my goodness. Man, Dr. Kleiner, what are you doing? Okay, well, it looks like we're not going to teleport him because Dr. Kleiner's just not cooperating. So you have to wait until he's done talking so we can go through this door. Because in order to get to the communications room, there's a computer upstairs, 2 floors up, that we have to interact with. What the frick is that emote? It's a masterpiece. Have you never seen that emote before? It's beautiful. I don't remember the emote code off the top of my head, though. So yeah, we're just going through this elevator section so we can get to the computer we need to interact with. Shoutouts to anyone who has a... Oops. There we go. Shoutouts to anyone who has a pet named Alex. You're a cool dude.
Hey, can you hear me? The power went out on your phone.
shots
The
there to kill
generator
that
is
runner.
stable now. I'll wait for you in the communications room. Just keep going. You'll find it.
Just went in a circle there. I'm good at video games. I may have actually forgotten where to go. 1 second. This usually isn't a problem. Okay, I'm on the right track. Lost my way for a second there, but we made it. I'm gonna ignore this runner because shooting him wastes time.
There you are. Follow me. It should all work now.
Alright, so now we're on part 2 of the big cutscene, and there is a teleport that we're going to try to do that's actually fairly consistent. Which I didn't get. Never mind, it's the most inconsistent trick in the game.
I hope someone
You
here.
usually can get that teleport pretty easily, but in that case I missed it.
This is Professor George Richmond of the
So we have to wait
Archaeological
until
Research
the
Facility.
end of this cutscene to be able to open this vent to get to the next map.
Military
This is
assistant.
an automated message from ARC
That's
Corporation.
weird.
There has been a safety breach. Mandatory curfew
override
is
the
in
loop
effect.
buffer?
Please remain
I'll clear it
inside.
just to be sure. There's nothing there. The message isn't coming from here. I wonder where on earth it's coming from. Unless... No. But that was decommissioned. There's a very old satellite station on the other side of the island, but it hasn't been used since the 70s. It must be. Only that transmitter's powerful enough to jam the signal. We've got to get there. Maybe through town. I think we can...
We've got you two cornered. Open up.
Quick! Ventilation shaft, go, now! Get to the signal.
Actually, one quick second. Really sorry about that, guys. I had to leave for a second, but we're back. Nothing major, I just had to let my family in the front door. Alright. I'm going to take this garage bin, or this barrel. And we don't want to get too close to the fan here, as we're disabling it, because the fan will crush us if we get too close. We're in the last map of the game. Now, normally in this section you'd have to shoot a lot more guards, but we're going to use an item climb to go over this whole area. First you have to kill a few guards just so they don't try to shoot it. Look. I was worried there because I thought that guard was going to shoot this explosive barrel. So as said, we're going to item climb over this whole area. And ABH across this catwalk. Some critical sit strats. Yeah, but I saved it. Anyway, there is normally a puzzle here where you have to use a crane to open a gate. But we are going to ABH over the gate. Like so. I got the slower one because you can end up on the other side of the gate. And that saves a few seconds, but I got the slower variant of this ABH. And we are coming up at the end of the game. Time will be in a few seconds. Time. can let me know the RTA time in chat. $22.44? That's an RTA PV right there. Or $24.44. Yeah, that's pretty much an RTA PV. Actually, not technically, because my RTA PV is a 24.08, but that was with the void clip, so. And this run I didn't do that, obviously. Alright, so that was Estranged. I hope you guys enjoyed that. Definitely stick around for this last day of Shots Fired, because there's a lot of hype runs, including all 3 Half-Life runs coming up with Half-Life 1, Half-Life Opposing Force, and Blue Shift. So definitely stick around for those runs. There's a lot of other good runs today as well. So that was it for me. Hope you guys enjoyed Estranged, even though that was terrible because I had to take that one break. That'll be it for me.